Today I will show you how easy it is to make a vintage garden DIYs very low on a budget. Hello my darlings, I hope everyone is doing wonderful. I am C and this is CJ DIY. DIY number 1. I'm gonna create this beautiful terracotta vase. I'm using a plastic container that I have from Olives and I'm applying a terracotta Pueblo paint with the help of a sponge brush. I'm dabbing and I'm applying on the container until it's all fully covered with it. Now that the container is covered, I also added Terrazzo 10 terracotta paint from top and bottom. The same process except I use for the top and the bottom just to get a different texture and mix of colors. And now with the left of the paint, I'm gonna dab around the whole plastic container as well, just to get 2 shades of colors. Just like that, and it's gonna look like a ceramic planter. I really like this terracotta and I'm a proud plaid ambassador and I really love their paints, and look how cute it looks. Now while it's getting dry, I grab a couple of wooden beads and I'm adding a antique wax just to stain them. I'm just putting them in a bag. I thought that's gonna be the easier and a faster process. And I'm just shaking it with the wax until they're all fully covered. Next, I'm gonna add a jute around the neck of my vase, planter, whatever you like to call it. Just making a couple of rows around the neck. And now I will be adding my beads. I'm adding a neutral color wooden beads and the one that we stained them with the wax. We're just adding a couple of them. I think I'm gonna add 5 on one side and another 5 on the other side. And it's gonna look super antique, vintage, beautiful planter. And it didn't cost me a lot. I have all those supplies at home. And from trash, I created a treasure. You gotta let me know, what do you think? And you better start looking for some containers in your house and making some beautiful pots like this. Now when I added those beads, I'm gonna tie them to make sure that they don't fall. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other part as well. And we would like to make some tassels for the bottom, so that's why I didn't cut off the twine yet. Next, we're creating a tassel. I just grab a piece of paper and I'm just layering a couple of layers of twine, just like so. After I layer a couple of them, in the middle, I'm gonna tie the twine just like so, if that makes sense. Super simple. And right there in the middle, I'm gonna tie it. And that part is gonna go tight with the beads. And the bottom will be cut off. And the tassel, super simply, is done. Now I'm adding the other twine from the beads in the middle of the top of the tassel, and those two parts I'm gonna tie them together, and it's done. And we're gonna do the same thing from the other side of my beads. I'm making my second tassel as well. I'm cutting the bottoms, make sure they're both equal. To get rid of the extra pieces on the twine, I'm just using a lighter, and on top we're gonna get the extra vintage look on my planter. And with that, my first DIY is done. Super cute and pretty. You gotta let me know, what do you think? I added some greeneries on top, and you're gonna see the final reveal. Today I'm so happy that I'm a part of Room by Room, hosted by my amazing, beautiful, darling friend Devin from Freckle Mom DIY, and this month guest host is my fabulous friend Favi from Eros DIY, both amazing, super talented ladies. And if I haven't told you by now, I just love my creators friends. I love them all, and these two ladies are amazing. And if you haven't visited their channels, please do so. All the links will be in my description box. And of course, amazing, fabulous playlist with so many talented creators. Links in my description box. And after you're done watching my video, you know where you're going next. With that being said, we're jumping into my DIY number 2. I'm using 2 plaques from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna paint them on the other side with a black apple barrel paint, just to cover the whole plaque with this color. When my plaques are dry, I'm applying a medium crackle from Folk Art Home Decor, and I'm just applying it until it's all fully covered, so we can get that crackled rustic vintage paint on my plaques. So I'm just covering it first with that, and I'm just gonna let it dry. And when it's all dry, now I'm applying a white paint on top of it, and you're gonna see how this paint is gonna crackle, and it's gonna look like it's all outdated, rustic, vintage look. I love this process. Super vintagey look, perfectly for this theme, vintage garden. You gotta let me know, have you ever tried this crackle medium, and if you like it, or if you're planning to use it in the future. I really like it. I purchased it from Amazon. I think it was only $7.99, that crackle medium, in case you're wondering where. And I believe Walmart is selling it too, Joanns, any craft store. And look, they're not even dry, and the paint started to crackle. You're gonna see after I'm done with these cones. I'm using these wooden cones. I purchased them from Joanns. I bought them very cheap on sale. And I'm just using antique wax just to get that rustic look on them and get that wooden design on the cones. Applying it with a wipe, and now I'm using those cones on top of my crackle plaques. I'm gonna glue them right in the middle vertically, and that's about it for this DIY. You gotta let me know, what do you think, how my vintage project came out. I fill it out with the Dollar Tree greeneries, and look how cute and vintagey it looks. You can even put some real greeneries in there, real plants, and it's gonna look beautiful for your garden decor. For my DIY number 3 and 4, I am really loving it. I'm using 2 branches of hydrangea flowers. I only need the flowers. I just removed the flowers. Now I'm using these 2 small spheres, and I'm gonna glue the flowers around those 2 spheres so we can make 2 big flowers if that makes sense. You're gonna see. But you can also use the styrofoams, the mini styrofoams that they're selling at Dollar Tree. I didn't have those in hands. I just found those in my stack. So I'm just gluing them and covering it. And until they're all covered, and in between I didn't have enough flowers to cover them all, but not a problem. I'm just covering them with the Spanish moss around so that blue color from the sphere doesn't show, if that makes sense. You know what I mean. I just make 2 large hydrangeas, and you're gonna see what I'm gonna make with them, and I think you're gonna love them. Now, when my large flowers are done, I'm using this beautiful burlap ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. Can you believe it? I found this ribbon from there. And I'm just gonna glue it on the back of my flower. Just like that. Just covering it with the flower. And if you don't know by now, I'm making a flower door hanger, if that makes sense. So one flower will be a layer lower and one higher. In the middle there, I found a metal ring. You can find also a wooden rings that Dollar Tree is selling these days, but I couldn't find any, so I got this ring from previously projects. And I'm just gonna wrap my ribbon around the ring on top, and that's where we're gonna hang it. When the burlap is wrapped around the metal ring on top, now I'm just gonna glue my second flower, and that one is gonna go lower than the first one. And that's it. And look how vintagey and beautiful and high-end it looks. You gotta let me know, what do you think? I wish I had more hydrangea like this so I can make a third one and layer them like in 3 different rows. It was going to look beautiful. But I like it how it came out. You gotta let me know, what do you think? Now I'm just making a simple bow for the top. I just cut off the burlap. I'm gonna glue it. And I'm gonna tie it with a twine. And that's it. Super simple bow. With the flowers like this, you don't need a lot of bows. Well, I thought so. Since it's like a vintagey look, I really like just a simple bow for it. I added just a little bit of greeneries, and this project is done. Next, we'll be adding this garden fence that I purchased from my local store. All I'm doing is I'm just cutting the bottom portion of the fence. It took me a while, but it was easy after that. Soon as I open it with my cutter, and then with the help of my hand, I just remove it. Super simple. Just like that. I cut off extra pieces on the edges as well. And I'm gonna be using 2 of them, and did the same thing on the second one. And I'm gonna put them together, and I'm gonna make them to look like a arch window. I'm tying them with the twine together, just so they can stay together. And no worries, all that will be covered with a lot of greeneries. Now when they're all together, to get that vintage rustic look, I'm distressing it with a mineral chalk paint, and my arch window frame is done. And look how beautiful and rustic it looks for only $2. And if you go to high-end stores, those arch window frames, whatever you like to call them, they're so expensive, and mine only cost $2. And here how it came out. I'm really loving it. You're gonna see in just a little bit. I also want to show you these beautiful metallic planters that I purchased from Michael's. They were on sale. I think I pay only $9 each, and I couldn't resist them, so I bought them, and it's gonna look perfect for my vintage decor. And with these beautiful green bushes, also from Michael's. They were like $4 something a piece. They were on sale. And you can also put a real plant inside of those beautiful planters. And here is my final reveal. I also had that Bless My Garden sign from Dollar Tree to complete my vintage garden decor. You gotta let me know, what do you think? I had so much fun creating these beautiful creations today. I hope I gave you lots of inspirations, and you had so much fun watching me while I was creating it, because I had so much fun. You know how much I love to create. And before I let you go, Devin and Favi, thank you so much for having me in this amazing, beautiful collab. And before I let you go, don't forget to check out Devins, Favi's channel, and the amazing playlist with so many talented creator friends. You're gonna love it. Lots of inspirations in there. And until next time, my darlings, I'm sending you lots of love, lots of music, positive energy from me to you. I'll see you Saturday. Bye bye.